Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdeed. Jiayanu. Goedemorgen.
Pakhairagale, Ni Hao, Tune Shumme, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahar, Hale Shuma Chutore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhabe, and Buna, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PT World and are watching World this morning's Eid special transmission. A very
Happy
Eid
Eid
Mubarak to
Mubarak.
you. I'm sorry, Shiza, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. I
Well, you
feel
ditched me
great.
at the last moment. We decided we were going to say Happy Eid Mubarak,
Yeah,
and then he said Eid
that's what
Mubarak.
I decided. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened. So, when we walked into the studio, I was like to Shiza, you know what, we need to actually congratulate people by saying Happy Eid Mubarak. And then she was like, no, we can say Eid Mubarak. So I was like, you know what, we'll say Happy Eid Mubarak. And then eventually, while I was doing it, so what happened was that I said Eid Mubarak and
I
she
said
said Happy Eid
Happy.
Mubarak. So let's do it once again. 1, 2, 3.
Happy
Happy
Eid
Eid
Mubarak.
Mubarak! So for all those people who are out there, we think and we believe that you guys are having a lot of fun because today is a day of festivity, today is a day of reunion, and today is a day for foodies. So for all those
Oh,
people
yes.
who are out there, we've got amazing guests lined up for today as well. We are very glad that they've actually taken out time and they feel that, you know, they are part of our family, and this is why they're going to be here. We're going to sing a lot of songs. And for the very first time, Shiza, in the history of World this morning's any special transmission, today we will be serving juicy samosas
You
and a
have
lot of other
no
food.
idea how excited Shazad and I are, for real though. No, but about this Eid, since you are a foodie, I know for
Yeah.
a fact, I'm pretty sure this is your favorite occasion. This
Yeah,
your
it is.
favorite
It is one
festival
of my
as well.
favorite occasions, and thank God that I actually had to come to work because of the fact that if I would have stayed back,
Yeah.
so obviously I would have been busy slaughtering the
Eating.
goats or
Yeah,
probably
okay.
doing all of that. So thank God I do not have to do that.
So when you
Abu-
go back home, you'll do it then?
Yeah, no, I think I'm only going to go back once, you know, everything will be done at home. So, Abuji, I'm very sorry for putting you in the spot, but it's perfectly all right. Somebody's got to work, see?
Yeah, that's true, that's
But what
true.
about you? What's going on in your house?
Okay, so usually we do a big animal, but this time it's only since, you know,
Oh, so she's
with
dropping in
ourselves.
the bigger animal too as
I'm
well.
just saying
Oh.
because we're not going to the village. We
It's-
usually do.
Well, that's great.
But this time
and,
I decided to spend my Eid with you guys and with you,
well,
Shazad.
thank you very much, Shiza. That's very flattering too as well. So for all those people, wherever they are, happy Eid Mubarak once again. But before we start, I think there are a few special and very important messages which we want to give out too as well. First things first, we really feel for the Kashmiri brethren, and we are there with them in the pain. And you know, for all those people who've actually sacrificed their lives for the safety and security and prosperity of their motherland. For all those mothers who lost their kids in the Peshawar attack as well, we are just like your kids and we want to celebrate it with you. And I think that all those little souls will be happy up there too as well. So please make sure that you guys celebrate. And one more thing, and that is that for, you know, for all those people who might not have spoken to each other just because of whatever differences they had, I think this is the perfect occasion to get
course.
together, give each other a hug, and I think that'll be all right. You know, you can have kheer, you can have sevia, you can have so much to eat. And then, you know, obviously by 2 or 3, everybody will be having kaleji potato. So
Oh,
have fun
yes.
today. But to enjoy and to cherish these moments, ladies and gentlemen, we have invited a few of our very close to heart guests as well. They're over here in the studios. One of them actually previous Eid, you know, she gave me a dress too as well, but I don't know what happened to her this time, but perfectly all right. So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we've been joined by somebody who's a barrister, he's a political analyst. He's none other than Mr. Danish Iftikhar. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to you as well.
Khair
Eid
Khair
Mubarak to
Mubarak.
all your viewers.
Bro, I'm sorry I'm wearing a mic, otherwise I would have given you a hug, you know, 3 times.
Maybe
Akhtar
after
de
the
Mubarak Shah, that's how they say in Pashto too as well, alongside Barrister Danish Iftikhar Saab. We have been actually joined by somebody who's a great fashion designer, and I think that this is the type of sense and fashion which we actually require over here in Islamabad. She's doing it. She's one of the pioneers too over here. She's none other than Miss Sumaira Sajjad. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Eid
Assalamu alaikum
Mubarak.
and Eid Mubarak, and
You look
thank you for
beautiful, I have to say.
thank you so much, and I always enjoy coming to this set.
Where's my dress?
I honestly, that is a that is a reminder.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
thank you very
But
much.
next time, inshallah,
Thank you
we'll
very
get
much
one.
for being with us. Alongside Ms. Sumaira Sajjad, we have been joined by somebody who's actually going to tell us that, you know, having too much meat or food can be dangerous for health too as well. So she's going to tell us about the pros and
You know,
cons
it's
of
all
what to
fun
eat
and
and what
games
not
until
to
you
eat.
end up in a hospital with a stomach ache.
Exactly, and you really do not want to end up at a hospital where you'll actually be treated by Dr. Nosheen Abbas. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you very much for joining us. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, this lad just arrived in Pakistan 2.5 months. He was in USA. That's what he was telling me. He's a great singer. He even gave auditions for one of the music universities, or I think that's
Wow.
where people go to learn.
Wow.
But I don't know whether he's actually made it through or not, but we're definitely praying for him. He's the talented musician. He's none other than Mr. Hassan Hadid, and he's a singer. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Eid
Good
Mubarak.
morning.
Thank you so much. Eid Mubarak to you guys too. You've said so kind words, and it's been only like just a
Ab
little,
rulayega kya?
they just a little while.
It's Eid
I'm
day.
really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying, and it just came to my head that while you were talking about the dress, I was just watching David Bowie. He was an icon. I was watching David Bowie's documentary just last night, and he had a fashion designer, and he actually used to get dresses from her, and they really made him popular and famous. So that just occurred to my mind. I was wondering, is that really happening to you too?
I
They're on
mean,
the way.
even if it's not that, what I know is that I've got David Bowie t-shirts, like 2-3 t-shirts,
Oh, wow.
and he's all over them as well. So, everybody who's a music lover needs to know David Bowie. But let's get started. I think what we need to do is, before we start, how your day started, what you did so far, I think what we need to do is that we need to take messages from you people, for whoever you feel. Go ahead, share it with all those people who are actually watching you right now.
Well, firstly, I would just like to say that I want to convey my warm wishes, my congratulations on this happy occasion. And, this month of Zulhajj, it is the second most significant month after Ramadan. And the first 10 days, any good act that you will do, anything good you will do, you will help somebody, you will, distribute meat, those acts will be better than acts done on any other month. So do remember everyone that you love and everyone who deserves your love on this particular day. And we should take a leaf out of the book of the sacrifice, the great sacrifice that our Prophet Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam he did, and he did not think twice before offering his own son for sacrifice. And Allah Ta'ala, rewarded him and he gave him the title of Khalilullah. And forever, engraved his name in our namaz. We say durood to Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, also to Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him. And, it was an act which was so nice, and, it was so full of taqwa. And he submitted to the will of Allah. And these days, we need that kind of, as you call it, belief in our Allah Ta'ala, and, belief in giving to others, which will in many ways enhance our own reputation and will also enhance our status in the eyes of Allah and other people.
All right.
Well, that was one of our balloons, you guys.
So we should remember the poor, the destitute, the needy, and Eid should not just be about, going to the mosque, praying, coming back and sacrificing, but it is also about sharing our compassion and our love to all those who cannot afford to have these kind of happy moments in their lives, and they look towards us. And the important thing also is to inculcate in our children the belief and the values
Value
of
system.
distributing, and I think we should make them a part of this distribution of meat. Just like we're talking about Eid, and we should also remember Eidi.
Only if they feel like coming closer to it. They're like from far away. Oh, I'm not coming in. It's a mess. So it's hard. But thank you very much for your message. It's great, and it reminds me of one very important thing, and that is that congratulations to all those Hajis who've actually performed Hajj. It's a great deal. I wish to go alongside my parents too as well. We're planning on next year. So if you guys are still out there, please make sure that you pray for all of us, your Muslim brethren too as well, that Allah may give them the opportunity to go to His house and worship Him. I think that's the greatest thing.
No, but
So to
before
all the
we-
Hajis who are out there, congratulations.
Congratulations. Before we move to Sumair, I have one thing to ask
Yeah.
you, since we were talking about values of Eid as well. You have daughters, mashallah.
Yeah.
So when you were their age, or probably when you were young,
Yeah.
do you think that Eid has changed for kids? Is it different for them?
Well, yeah, it is very different for them, because if I'm going to go down the memory lane and remember how it was for me, so I think that whenever it used to be Bakra Eid, we just got to know that it's going to be Bakra Eid in a month's time. So what I would do was pack my bag, go to my grandfather's place because, you know, we used to live in a joint family system. You know, there were my chachus, uncles, everybody was there. And all day long, I think what we would do was that, you know, we cousins would gather around our grandfather and we'll beg him that, you know, why can't we just get goats and everything before like 15 days or 20 days or 25 days. And then they always used to shun us off because of the fact that, you know, they were like, oh, or you're going to have all the fun and we'll be left for cleaning.
Oh, yeah, that's true, though.
So, yeah, these days, kids are not actually worried about goats and anything. I think they're more usually worried about watching these cartoons or people playing video games over PlayStation and watching them on YouTube as well. So,
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
I think Eid is more on YouTube now because even today, you know, it looks so interesting to see a cow unloading, you know, a cow rushing into people. So be safe out there, you know, because by the end of the day, they are animals.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
Samara, what about you? How would you like to start your day?
I'll add up to what Shiza just asked. I think that now Eid has become more festive, like if we talk about kids, because, you know, maybe 10 years down the lane, we didn't have all these social media things and we didn't have this concept of selfie and, you know, like sharing this with people that how we, you know, take care of our animal and we take it out and then we do the sacrifice. So I think people have become, in fact, the kids, they get so excited to get the animal and then they take it to the, you know, to the gardens to feed them and then they take pictures with it. So I think it has become more, you know, more happening now.
Okay.
And which is very exciting. And then, you know, they'll decorate their animal and, you know, they'll have a group photo with it and they'll discuss that with their fellow, you know, fellows. So, yeah, that is a very good thing about
And on this
Eid.
Eid, you know, people were so innovative that they actually came up with another hashtag which was named as Bakrafi as well. So Bakrafi is when you take a selfie with Bakra, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's how innovative people and creative people are. But other than that, there's one thing which I would love to ask. You know, anybody can answer. Have you ever seen a face of a child who took his goat for a walk and came back empty-handed? And it was like, oh, you know, the goat just ran away. Have you ever witnessed that?
haven't.
Anybody?
I have
All right,
witnessed- yes,
Dr.
I
Saib
have.
has witnessed
I
that.
have witnessed that because my brother lost the goat. And we were at home and he came back and he said, Abu, the goat has ran away. And we were like, he's joking, this can't be true. You know?
This was right a day before Eid.
Yes, 2 days before Eid.
Oh.
And then we couldn't find the goat again.
Oh,
so
great.
And then you'll have to
buy a new
Did you buy again?
Yeah, we bought
Because
a new
if I
one.
would have been in the place of your father, I would have been like, man, that's your Eid gone. That's it. I'm not bringing
You
any more
lost it.
animals now. But what about you, Hadid?
I think it's been always like, I mean, I do feel like certain way that, you know, times like really changing, and I feel like, you know, we should just, you know, be more open to, you know, and more, I mean, more accepting with, you know.
It's Eid, baby. Come on, cheer up.
No, I'm just saying, you know, just with times, it's beautiful. Like I do think it's beautiful.
And to make it more beautiful, what we're going to do
Festival,
is that we're going to tell your fingers to, you know, kind of play those strings on your guitar, and we'll ask you to sing us a song. A
Yeah,
good one,
thank
all
you.
right? Let's set the mood now.
Elevate
Go
the
ahead.
mood, yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, before I sing the song, I would just like to say a few words
Yeah,
about
sure,
it.
please go ahead.
It's like one of my it's really close to my heart. It's a song called Aao Baitho Kaisi Ho by Amir Zaki.
Oh, बेटो कैसी हो? वाह, एकदम सी, बहुत power.
Yeah, and I really, you know.
इसके बाद क्या आता है?
pray
ये भी बताओ.
that- यही गाने का नाम
Let's
है.
let's listen to him.
That will be in the next song.
आओ बेटो कैसी हो? नंबर तो दे दो.
आओ बैठो कैसी हो तुम तो बिल्कुल उस जैसी हो.
What we're going to do is we're going to imagine this song alongside our, you know, slaughtery animals. I think that's what we're
Let's
going
do
to
that.
dedicate it to.
Yeah.
वही बात जाने गुजरे कितने साल टूटा दिल हाँ निकला झूठा दिल जिसको कहता था मंजिल वो ही छोड़ गया इतना दर्द हम संभाल लें कितना दर्द क्यों न हो आवारा गर्द कोई दिल ही तोड़ गया चलो छोड़ो कुछ और कहो चले महंगा दौर कहो हम तो वीरान ही रहते हैं एक ही किस्सा कहते हैं
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we really have to head out for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're celebrating Eid's first day with you, and there are 2 more days to come. So please make sure that you stay tuned to PTV Ball.
Eid
because
Mubarak.
we are coming back. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to everyone who's watching. We love sharing and celebrating our Eid with you. And in our studio, we have some amazing guests who are part of our Eid show almost for years now. But before we move on to, conversate with them, I have a question for you, you being a guy.
Yeah.
Did you actually spend hours last night thinking what you want to wear today?
Well, that's not how it was. It was very difficult, and I knew that you're certainly going to ask me a question of that sort. Last night it was very difficult for me.
Okay.
And it was even difficult for me today to make it to work too as well.
Why?
Because of the fact that my mother is of the sort who's very possessive about her things. For example, and she's very careful about hygiene and cleanliness and all of that. So the goats weren't actually allowed to be parked inside my house. So. And then my father gave me a responsibility to actually keep an eye on them. So for that, pretty much half of my night was outside my house, just looking at the goats. And I was like, it was such a different thought because I'm seeing them as a whole unit right now, and tomorrow they'll be everywhere on the place. So it'll be heart-wrecking a bit, but that's how my night was. And I don't want anybody to go through this as well. Those buzzards when they come down, oh putter vekhi baaron ko khol ke na le jaye. Come on, man, stop doing that, Well, I think we really need to introduce insurances for goats and cows, so, because they can run away. And it's a good business opportunity. But let's move on to Iftikhar Sahab over here. So, how do you start your day? Okay, Eid prayers, they're done. What happens then today, once you leave from here?
Well, I'll probably go and the Qurbani is probably going to be done.
Oh,
and many people in my home, what they do is, including myself also at times, the first thing we eat in the morning is the Qurbani, meat. It is also a sunnah as well, and so we go do that, and after we done that, then the whole process of cutting meat and cutting it into pieces which are both edible and also hygienic, as you called, as you said earlier. You have to ensure that we sit with the butcher. If in the first place the butcher hasn't deceived us, and because what happens is that you call the butcher up the night before and he confirms everything is done and he will come at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or whatever. But the next day he goes to some other place. And then you're on the lookout for butchers, and it becomes a hard job for you.
You should always have a backup butcher.
Yes, you're right. We should always have a backup butcher. What I did this time was, my butcher was asking me for some advance because he needed some money. So I told him, okay, give me your car's registration papers. I will give you money. So I also helped him out, but I also ensured that he will be here for the Eid day to cut the goat. So that's how I dealt with it.
So God forbid, if he's not the first one to show up early in the morning, so are you going to give him his paper back, or what if he shows up in the evening? Because that's what you require, that he shows up. But what if he shows up late? What are you going to do? Are you going to tear the papers apart, or you get lost over here?
No, I'm going to be more compassionate than that. Today is a day of forgiving, and I will forgive him for that. But just, I mean, it is just a symbolic thing that, you know, I mean, he knows now that he can be in serious
So it's
trouble.
like a down payment, security, you know. Oh, my butcher's coming. So what kind of sleep did you had last night, knowing that your butcher will be on time?
Well, I had a
satisfied
normal,
one, I'm sure.
satisfying sleep.
Yeah,
I knew
that's what I'm saying.
everything was covered, all the grounds were covered. I knew that my goats were locked inside safely, and the, you know, the guard was also there. So no worries in that department. And you know, all the other things like my clothes and everything, I do that about 2 weeks before the Eid, so that I don't have to wait up for the tailors, you know, because that's also an issue
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
for your
Oh,
viewers
God.
and for yourself as well. That the tailors, you know, they delay stitching your clothes, and then, you know, you get late, and then especially for women, you know, it's
Oh,
a huge
yes,
issue.
please.
So-
Let's
But
not
thank
start.
God, man, I do not have a concept of shopping for Bakra Eid at my home. But you know, you do it once on Choti Eid and that's it. You don't do it again.
You know,
Yeah.
even I don't even like the concept of. Well, I do love shopping, but the concept of doing it for Bakra Eid. But my dad always insists for, you know, to his daughters as well. We're 4 sisters, and he just keeps pushing us and my mother as well that you, especially you guys, even I don't buy, even if my, you know, son doesn't buy, you guys have to buy something new.
That's
Because
good.
he loves his daughters, you know, all dolled up and everything.
Great
But
father.
you know, I have to move on with the men cribbing about, you know, waking up early in the morning for the slaughter and whatnot. But Sumaira, since women have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, how are you planning on
I think
spending
they're the
your day?
first ones to wake up too as well.
Yeah.
They wake us up.
Definitely, you know,
We have to,
these
you
things
prepare.
work side by side. Since they're done with their part, then our job starts, and which is more difficult
Yeah.
because then, you know, we have to make portions of meat, and
And
then we have to
clean the
see.
meat as
Yeah, definitely. The first thing is cleaning of the meat, and then making portions and making sure that every portion reaches the right place.
right, right.
But in my case, since I'm not a meat person at all,
Okay,
so
okay.
I avoid the kitchen for at least 2 days.
Okay, so
because
you don't
that-
help?
Sorry?
You don't
Yeah,
help?
I don't help, and I don't eat meat.
Okay.
But the amazing part is that why I look forward to this Eid is that we go to our native village,
Okay,
and you know, we do sacrifice there. So,
So
after,
you'll go after this show?
yeah, definitely. So I'm just waiting, and everyone at home back is waiting for me that I reach, and then we go.
We sorry we
for
kept
the-
you, but we love having you on the show. What can we do?
No, but you know, I think we really need to be thankful to all those people who actually invented or came up with the idea of having television in their houses. So you're probably with all of those people who are out there in the village, and they might probably be enjoying right now. So it's great. You can be an hour late.
Definitely.
right?
So we're definitely enjoying it with everyone. Everyone is watching
Amazing.
us.
See, we've got a bigger family out there.
Yeah.
Dr. Saiba, what about you? How difficult is it for you?
Well, as a health professional, I think we have a double duty because, as you mentioned, that people we look forward to eating meat.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go above the board, and we end up landing in emergency. And also, we have duties in hospital. Then we have, as Sumaira mentioned, we have our responsibilities at home also. So it's like kind of like we do look forward to all this as the kids are excited. You were talking about the childhood. My son has named the cow Brownie, and last night he was telling me, let's not slaughter Brownie because I really love him and I think I can't live without him.
Yeah.
And I was like, now this is the main concept, beta, because we, Hazrat Ibrahim sacrificed his son, and this is, we have to so it's a combination of everything. We're teaching kids and they are learning, then that association with the animal and everything. So it's good.
That
does it
also
happen-
reminds me of a childhood memory,
yeah,
memory I had. That when our goats were being cut and all our brothers and sisters, we had our own goats. They were named that this is Danish's goat, this is Mavi's goat, and so on and so forth. What we used to do was on the day of Qurbani on Eid al-Adha, we used to go and hide our goats so that the other sisters,
go
siblings'
first.
goat will be cut first, and then we used to feed the goat and give them water. So that just brought a memory back.
Exactly, and I was about to mention one of my memories too as well, but thank you very much for bringing this up. I think this is what we want our guests to answer, that your wildest or your craziest childhood memory about Bakra Eid. So I think I'm going to start with mine because it's not childhood memory, but this is what happened to me last year, and it was very bizarre too as well. So what happened was we hired a butcher, and he apparently he was said to be one of the greatest butchers, because the generation two generations back, I think people were meat lovers, and they still are. Alhamdulillah, we're talking about our grandparents or our parents too. As
I
well.
still am. I love meat.
So what happened was that butcher was actually a celebrity butcher. What he did was he came all by himself first of all, and then he wanted me to actually put the bakra up and down and whatnot or hang it. So all of those things were my things, and the only thing which he did was probably just make the pieces or just slaughter the goat. That's what it was, and I don't want anything of that sort. So if you were a butcher, please do your job properly. Don't make us do it.
Yeah,
I think that's something I need to say or need
That's
to
an
tell.
important message.
Yeah, it is, it is. And you know what they do is, so they'll cut yours, keep it hanging, I'll come back later. And then you're just there in between. You cannot even go see anybody. You cannot go meet anybody. But so that's how it was for
And
me.
you know what? Because of this butcher thing, like, this miscommitment thing, a lot of families have learned how to do the sacrifice.
yes,
And
that's
that's
true,
why, they do it within themselves instead of, hiring a butcher
I think
or
that's
something
even
like
better.
that.
You
I
should be
remember when
self-sufficient.
we
And
were
which is an
young.
easy job, you don't have to wait for somebody.
I think that can be
Yeah.
one way too as well, but to put it other way, I think those families are a bit miser too. Just saving a lot of money.
No, but Shahzad, like my father, when we were young, he used to enjoy that. He used to look forward to that, and he used to, tell, no, aise nahi, don't make a piece like this, and he was like professional now. But he has grown old and everything, so now we hire a butcher. But I remember my childhood, my chachas and my baba, everybody used to do the,
Oh, that's cool.
the
So there are two
sacrifice.
sides to the picture now.
Yes,
Okay. Hadith, what about you?
I go with my father and my brothers
Yeah.
every Eid.
Where do you go?
To the butcher. Yeah, that's where our bakras.
You
and-
call the butcher, you go to the butcher.
No, I think we go to the butcher because in
Modern
our area,
family, that's cool.
Yeah, because in our area we can't we can't sacrifice the animals.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Which area do you live in Pakistan?
in Beria town.
Oh, no, in
yeah, yeah,
colonies
yeah.
it happens. Yeah, first
Yeah.
of all, you
It's
can't
even
keep
in
them.
DHA also, no? They don't allow you.
Yeah,
the
yeah, and
slaughter
there's
the
this
animal
one
in the
place where you have to
houses.
take the animal to, and then
Yes.
it's
See,
turn by
imagine you
turn.
live in Islamabad and you get to do whatever you
certain
want to
points.
do. I think that's great and that's the spirit. I think for one day these societies or these towns can actually give permission so that everybody can enjoy. I think that's what it is, but I think that they're pretty much more concerned about the diseases which can
Yes.
affect with all of that.
Yes, that's
You
a good
know, I don't know what to call it. You know, that stomach's out there on the road too as well. You know, there are too many other things,
intestines and everything.
whatnot.
Oh.
So how dangerous do you think all of these things can be?
I think I support the point now. What happens is people used to throw the intestines and everything on the road. Now there's a lot of awareness. But I think, as you mentioned, diseases, we have now viruses are more dangerous other than the diseases. So like the
Right.
Congo virus and all, there were a lot of awareness messages before the Eid and everything. So we have to be really careful. I always tell my kids or my anybody that whenever you're playing with the cow or the goat, come back, wash your hands, especially your nail tips, because from here the infection goes. And do blow your nose, do wash your face, because you don't know what kind of viruses, what kind of environment the animals were grown up. So we have to be careful in that.
Exactly. And with that, what we're going to do is that we're going to listen to another song, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll head out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. But this time, we're going to have which one?
Bhula dena.
Bhula dena,
dena,
okay?
yes.
Well,
By
lekin
Amir
bhulana
Zakir.
nahi, okay? Good morning.
Stay
After
tuned.
that, bhula dena.
Welcome back to World This Morning. Eid Mubarak. I thought Shahzadi you were going to do it.
It's
But we're
perfectly
having a
alright.
great time, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, finally on our tables, we have some very amazing snacks, foods, and juices as well. And this is by the grace of our guests, we have to say, Dr. Nosheen over here.
Exactly. Dr. Nasheen, Subera as well.
Yeah, they
And
took out the time early in the morning on the Eid day to dress up as well. But before that, to make all of this for us. Wow. Thank you so much, you guys.
And thanks to our producer, Mr. Jamshed Sultan as well, who actually came up with a brilliant idea that, you know, we've been hosts for last 4 years. So this,
now do your
this year,
part.
what's going to happen is that, you know, we're going to actually ask the guests that, you know, why don't you bring in the snacks too as well? So the entire team of World This Morning and the entire team of PT World, hats off to you guys, to the cameraman, to the people in design, engineers, IT experts, and everybody who made it possible for us, to controllers, directors, to the higher administration, to the managing director, to the newly appointed information minister too as well, and to the prime minister too as well. So happy Eid Mubarak everybody. It wouldn't have been possible if all of these people didn't join hands. And thank you very much for bringing in these snacks. It means a lot, because I really missed out on my breakfast today as well. But I think what we're going to do is we'll make you sing and we'll eat and you can sing. Yeah, that's what it is.
Alright.
And you can eat afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. This song is called Bhula Dena by Amar Zaki.
Let's do it.
Go ahead, ladies. Pass it on. Literally made it.
Yummy.
मेरे सारे दिन बुला देना, और वो सारे घर जला देना, तुम ही से करूँगा प्यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा यार, बुला देना. मेरा नाम अगर कभी याद बेवफा के दिन ना गिराते, तुम्हीं से करूँगा प्यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा प्यार, बुला देना, तुम्हीं से करूँगा प्यार, बुला देना. मैंने तुम्हें अपना प्यार कहा था, नहीं बदला जो एक बार कहा था, वो घर हमारा बिखरा जैसे सितारा, मेरे दोस्त खुदारा, भुला देना.
Wow, that was fabulous. A great job done too as well. And I think your songs are on point too as well. You know, they're very much in line with the concept of Bakra Eid, Bula Dena, Yaad Rakhna. I think that's what we're going to do. And the juices are fabulous. And there's one thing, Dr. Saiba, what I want to ask, and that is that you're not having the samosas. But is there something wrong with them?
I just wanted you to try first.
Now that's cool, you know, since Shazad is eating, and I know actually we have a lot of fun games planned for you guys, for the guests as well. But before we move on to them, I have something to, you know, talk about to the guests. Sumera, especially you.
Yeah.
You know, since you are a designer, you're always dealing with tailors as well, especially on Eid, you know, and other functions as well. A lot of people must be coming to you to, you know, for you to design their dresses.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with tailors, you're dealing with the designing, you're going to lace shops and everything, you're matching, you're dyeing their clothes and everything. How hectic does it get, and what if, on the 11th hour, the tailor doesn't get it right?
So now see, as I said earlier, and I always say this, that we have become used to all this, things, last minute, orders, or maybe last minute adjustments. So this is part of the game.
Okay.
So, and we have been trained, and our tailors have been trained, our team has been trained, that they know how to meet deadlines
Okay.
and how to fix things within the certain time.
Okay,
So yes, mishaps happen, but we try to fix them. So and like in that short time, like the things get more excited, and we enjoy
Right.
that when we have to do something in pressure, the results come out much better,
Better than-
as
yeah.
compared to the things that are planned, and so yeah.
So it always, happens smoothly.
Alhamdulillah, so far.
Okay.
Because why? Now see, we manage everything. We don't leave everything on the last minute.
Right,
So
right.
all the orders are done at least 2 or 3 days prior to the Eid.
So you
if
must even
there's-
tell your customers that this is the date you cannot order after this.
Yes,
Okay,
obviously we have to mention that, and there's a deadline for tailors also,
right,
and even
right,
for the
right.
clients. That's why we manage things, because on Eids everyone have to move maybe to different cities, or they have to go to their villages. So we have to stop the orders at a certain point. That's why we manage things on time.
Okay,
Well,
perfect.
that's great. And with that, we'll move on to Dr. Saiba as well, because we're going to ask other people who are actually foodies and who forget their limits too as well, because I've seen examples of so many other people where they're diabetic and then they inject insulin, and then afterwards they feel like that they can eat whatever
Safe
they
to
want.
eat whatever, yes.
Yeah. So Dr. Saiba, for all those people who have diabetes, for all those people who have hypertension, what are the kind of things which they need to keep in their head while enjoying the festivity of the Eid?
We have to keep in mind that we have to eat in portions, right? So unfortunately what we get to see on the Eid day, that we start eating from the morning till the dinner time, breakfast and then lunch, and then having liver, and then having the meat, then getting the kadhai made and
There's a
everything.
barbecue
There's a
session.
barbecue that still comes at the end,
Palau
but
and
palau and the
whatnot.
fry. So first of all, try to eat slowly, and because let your system absorb the thing, because let your enzymes produce, so that it helps in digestion, especially for the people who have reflux or indigestive problems. They have to be really careful, and please try to increase the use of ginger, lemon, try to eat properly and chew properly, so that you
But why ginger and lemon, please? Can you
Because it helps digest things.
yes.
Yeah, so for the viewers, I was asking.
So the ginger helps in digestion, and it prevents bloating. That's the biggest part which comes to us, because sometimes what happens, if the patient lands in emergency, God forbid,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you'll get to know they're bloated, they feel nauseous. This is all because we eat more than the capacity of our stomach.
Yeah,
So then we end up either vomiting or all that. So let's we can eat it in like for 3 days of Eid, or
Yeah,
we can
right.
continue
Even
to
after
have-
that.
even after that. So but you don't have to eat all the meat not the same day. So be careful about that.
Actually, my family is safe, in those terms, because none of them eats meat. So we make a lot of kebabs, and my mom's making croquettes and stuff just to freeze, because there's no other way we can consume meat. My family does not. We don't make pulaus, or we don't make
What
salan or
do you
whatever.
guys make kebabs of?
We do make it of meat. I'm saying otherwise, there's no other way for the intake. I mean, there's no pulaus, or there's no salans or whatever. There's no
Nahi
korma.
yaar.
Yeah. So these are the only things. That's how we're going to intake our meat.
And I think
we
what,
freeze them
what
for
we're going to
months
do
and
is that,
months.
ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to try to ask Shiza to bring in some kebabs too as well.
Oh, yes, of course, I
Because
will.
if they don't consume meat, we can, and that's super. But very quickly, before we move on towards our break, and before we bid farewell to Iftikhar Sahab over here, what we've done is that we've actually taken out a few questions. These are common sense questions, not very difficult, very simple ones. All you have to do is use your head, and let's see who can answer the most. And the winner is actually going to get nothing at all. So
Extra samosas, maybe.
let's get
Shahzad,
started.
When you're talking about common sense, it is not common.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true.
that's what we're trying to
So
do
it's a
over here.
big
That's what we're
question
trying to
mark now.
prove. But what we've done is that for all the days of the Eid shows, we've made sure that the questions are same, so that we could actually realize that which of our guests was the smartest.
Yeah,
all right.
that's what we're
So
gonna
Iftikhar Sahab, we'll be
That's a
starting
tough
with
job,
you, and
yeah.
we'll move on towards Hadith. So first things first. If Larry's father has 5 sons named 10, 20, 30, and 40. Guess what would be the name of the 5th?
Larry.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Correct. There was an airplane crash. Every single person on board died, but yet 2 people survived. How is this possible?
Because
They were married. All right, moving on to Dr. Saiba.
what?
What goes up and down but still remains in the same place? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stairs. All right, Hadi, what about you? How far can you walk into the woods?
pretty much to the end.
No, halfway, because then you're walking out of the
Outside,
woods.
yeah.
All right.
That was a tricky one.
Yeah, coming back.
Okay.
If you throw a red stone into the blue sea, what will happen to the stone?
It will go down.
It will get wet. All right, moving on. And yeah, what can you never eat for breakfast?
Never eat for breakfast?
Yeah,
It's
1,
so easy.
Tea.
2,
Can never
3,
Can I?
4, 5. Dinner and lunch.
Lunch.
All right,
Okay.
moving on. What gets wetter and wetter the more it dries? 1, 2,
I know
3,
that, I know
4,
that.
Okay, you
5.
can answer.
Okay, go ahead.
A polar bear skin, actually.
No, a towel. You're wrong. So we're not even asking you another question. All right, very quickly. Name the most recent year in which New Year's came before Christmas.
2017.
I think this is the wrong question because this question is from the previous year anyways. Yeah, but you were correct. Okay, what goes up and never comes down? 1, 2, 3,
Pakistan's
4,
looted money.
5.
Good
No, it's
one, good
age.
one.
It's coming
age.
down, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Naya Pakistani, guys.
Acha. What has a head and a tail but no body?
Head and a tail. A coin?
Yeah, very
Wow.
right.
Wow,
If there are 12 fish and half of them drown, how many are there?
There are 12 fish, half of them drowned.
Yeah. Oh, fish do not drown.
The-
They swim. All
But even
right.
if they do, they'll still be in the water.
The last one before we end up
common
with a
sense.
break. Imagine you are in a sinking robot surrounded by sharks. How would you survive?
Oh, I would go on and discover the whole.
Stop
Antarctica.
imagining. All right, that was great. Thank you very much, Iftikhar Sahib, for being with us. But lovely to have you. We'll definitely continue our conversation with Samara over here, with Dr. Saiba and Hadid. But thank you very much once again. Eid Mubarak. If there's anything you want to say, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to say, to all the people we are celebrating Eid differently in Pakistan. Outside Pakistan, it's different. And some people are with their loved ones, some people are not with their loved ones. But no matter where you are or, no matter how you're celebrating your Eid or what time you're celebrating your Eid, it is important and essential that we always keep the spirit of this sacrifice of animals in our heart, not just on Eid day, but also throughout the rest of the year.
Right.
Amazing
Yeah,
that was.
beautifully
Thank you
said.
very much for being with us. It was lovely to have you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head out for a short break. What you can do is probably go help your father and see what they are doing and keep on watching the show because we're coming back and we are going to have another guest over here and she has actually brought in a cake and kheer too. Wow, I'm having fun today.
Eid Mubarak.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and good afternoon to everybody who are still tuned into PT World. And for all those people who just got tuned into PT World, you're watching World This Morning's special Eid transmission on day one. And we wish you happy Eid Mubarak. For all those people who, whether in Pakistan or outside Pakistan, to the entire Muslim brethren as well, for everybody who's out there, and congratulations to all those new
performed,
Hajis as
yes.
well. Please remember us in your prayers. But we have just been joined by another guest as well, because this is a bandwagon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
People get in, people get out. They share their experiences, they talk about Eid, and that's what it. But right now, we've actually been joined by a very dear friend as well. She's a very hardworking lady. The short word would be the Iron Lady as well, because I've seen her struggle. Now she's a known artist as well. She's an event manager. She's an interior designer. She's wearing too many hats too as well. But we are glad that she actually took out time and she's actually joined us over here. She's none other than Miss Shumaila Siddiqui. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Eid
and
Mubarak.
Good afternoon.
Eid Mubarak. Thank you very much for joining us.
I feel like home.
Thank you very much for
That's
that,
good.
and we feel great too as well. But Shumaila, there's one thing which I would love to ask, and that is that people, especially who are event managers, designers, doctors, these are the people who are in demand on Eid holidays too as well.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
everybody's thinking of having tea or a little party at their home. So how do you take out time, first of all?
Because I'm a corporate event manager,
Yeah.
so I don't do domestic events.
Oh,
So you
I'm
turn them
usually
down.
Yeah.
free.
yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
I've
That's
done my
perfect.
things before the Eid, and then I will start after the Eid.
So, but even though you're free, you're not doing your work. But I'm pretty sure you spend a lot of your time in the kitchen on Eid days, especially. Is that true?
Of course, in this Eid, of course, I have
Right,
to
you
go
have to,
to
right.
And we know that
slaughter and
she's a
arrange
great
the
cook
meat.
too as well.
Really?
And there's
Yeah.
something we need to keep in our head. She's a great cook, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
She's a great host too as well. But only if she invites you. She doesn't invite you anyways. But other than that, since you have a 8 to 10-year-old son too as well, he's very
Yeah.
fond of
He's
goats.
7.
Yeah, he's 7. He's very fond of animals. He's very fond of
Oh.
different things. So how was it, going out, showing him the goats or probably exploring things for him too?
In this Eid, normally boys enjoyed more.
Yeah.
Because they have to see
To walk the goats and everything.
Exactly, they are enjoying. Sorry.
Okay, it's
okay.
perfectly all right. It's perfectly all right.
No,
This is how it is.
Yeah, just a while ago, before she joined us for this segment of Eid, we were talking to our ladies about how how they manage to dress up in time and what they're going to do for the rest of the day. Since I'm pretty sure you have to keep cooking, keep attending the guest as well, even if you're
Yeah.
not cooking. So first of all, you
there
do
are
look
lots
very
of
nice.
things in my mind. I'm just thinking about I have to go to home and I have to cook again for my guest and
Yeah.
I have to manage the whole meat.
Right,
And,
Exactly.
Too many pressure on my mind.
Yeah, I think that's how it is. But Samara, I think that the question she's asked you got a bit unnoticed too as well. Because do you ever had a customer, or probably you might have them today too as well, whom you're supposed to deliver the clothes to by the end of today, or probably you have to deliver them clothes tomorrow because they need it.
Yeah.
So do you have to go through that pain too as well?
I think once it happened, but it was long time back. And I think that time when we realized that we have to do our homework, everything should be done
You're
on
in
time.
the learning phase, probably.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely, because obviously when you learn when you do something wrong, that's the process. So, but after that, it never happened, because as I said earlier that
Yeah.
we manage our things, we lock everything up 3 days earlier, prior to the Eid.
And ladies and gentlemen, honestly, this is what I like about them too as well. Because last year, I got lucky enough, they made me a dress. And imagine that they were so
gonna keep
kind,
saying
they were so kind that they actually came to my place to deliver.
Wow.
It was a lovely, beautiful box. It's Sumera and Shahzad in F7. Go ahead, do check them out as well. And they're 100% professionals too as well. That's what I love about them. But I think, Hadid, what we're going to do right now is that we're going to listen to another song, or probably I can play the guitar and you guys can sing. Can we do that?
Do you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay, let's try. Can we pass the guitar?
Can you pass the guitar?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
sit over there. Pass it.
They'll take it.
Because you're mic'd.
Mic.
Yes. Okay, let me
You're
try.
wired. Yay, good luck. Shahzad is going to sing for us as well.
No, I cannot
Okay,
sing.
he's
imagine.
gonna play the
I can
guitar,
only
and
speak.
Hadid is gonna sing for us. Okay.
Oh, let's
okay,
see.
perfect.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm getting the groove of it right now.
Okay.
हमें गाना भी कैसे? We have to
Really?
guess the
I
song.
think that's enough, ladies and gentlemen. I was just trying to show off that I can play a little guitar.
We thought we
I
have to
cannot
guess the
sing.
song.
We were
Let's leave
supposed
it
to
to-
guess
Yeah.
the song.
Yeah, we can do that, but let's leave it to the professionals. I
But it
think
was
that's
very
what it
well
is.
You
played.
can
Yeah.
sing.
I cannot sing at all.
You just play and we'll guess.
Oh, you can.
I don't think that I can
Okay,
do
maybe
that.
you can
but
start.
I'm too
We'll all
shy today.
join.
Let's
We'll all
not do
join
that.
you. Yeah.
You guys are going to join me?
Yeah,
I don't know which sound to sing on these.
I know
ones.
the perfect one. Gulabi Auntie.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Gulabi.
जो तेरी देखी शराबी ये दिल हो गया संभालो मुझको ओ मेरे यारो संभलना मुश्किल हो गया
La 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 la. I think that's
That's part.
Thank you very much. Please pass
That was
it on.
awesome. That was
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for reminding us.
This was our
holiday.
band for the Eid, especially for you
Yeah,
guys.
but right
Just
now,
resigned.
yeah, but right now, what we're going to do is, you might have heard of this game, Never Have I Ever.
This is our favorite, most
Yeah.
favorite part of the show.
This is, and so what we're going to do is we're going to hand you these play cards too as well. So there's a cross on one side and there's a tick on one side. So
Can
we're
you
going to
explain
ask
this
you questions.
You don't have an option of pass?
No, we don't have an option of
It's
pass.
yes or
and
no.
before we do that,
Only
we have
yes
to
and
take
no.
an oath.
Okay.
Okay, so please raise
Whatever
your
I
hand.
We
say.
didn't know that we have to
Yeah.
go into a taking
So
ceremony.
please raise your hand because all of us will be taking oath. The ladies and gentlemen, today on Bakra Eid's first day, whatever we're going to say.
On
we're-
PTV World.
On PTV World, on World This Morning, special transmission, whatever we're going to say, we're going to speak the truth and nothing other than that. That's what it is. Promise?
My God.
Promise. High five. High five. Yes. All right, let's do it.
Well,
Let me-
okay, let's move on.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Never have I ever put a gum under a table.
Oh. Never.
You haven't?
Oh,
Okay.
she's still thinking.
You
I was
haven't as
trying
well.
to recall. No.
I
You
know,
haven't.
but Everybody.
No one
everybody.
I'm pretty. You guys
What
have
about
one.
you? What about you? Have you ever?
No, I swallow gums all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like there's not once I spit it out. I can't. No, but I'm pretty sure not even when you were kids.
No,
No,
never.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. Yeah.
Ah, they,
Okay, moving on, moving on. Never have I ever stolen cutlery from a wedding.
Ah.
Come on, you gotta be honest about it.
Or a
But
hotel
there
or
must be
restaurant.
other things also. You know,
Oh, yeah, other
toothpicks.
things. Okay,
yeah.
other things.
Yeah,
Have you ever
it should
stolen
be-
anything from a shadi? Well, let's do that. She's done that.
Let's be
She's
honest.
done that. Well, let's be honest about
I
that.
can even name them.
Oh, yeah, what-
Toothpicks.
Toothpick.
Toothpicks
Oh,
and
yeah,
even
yeah.
the food, like the
I
fish.
love it. You know, I just love it
Fish.
when you go to an expensive restaurant. You know, you keep a few
Yeah.
toothpicks with you, and then you throw them in the car. That whenever
Well,
somebody's
I
gonna
do
sit there.
whatever.
When
I
you
do.
find them so fancy, you just like, I love
Exactly.
I'm gonna
collecting
keep
good
them.
things.
They're
yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
No, but you know, whatever I do, wherever I go, you know, if it's a restaurant, hotel, to anyone's place, I keep a lot of tissue papers from them. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
keep
that's
them-
That's
obvious.
fine.
The
That
Is
is
that
fine.
stealing?
But you're
Yeah,
supposed
it's
to
not
keep them with
stealing.
you.
No,
yeah.
for their tissue papers, I mean.
No,
I mean,
but
you
it's
don't
for
put the
us.
box in, right?
Anyway, exactly. So, okay, my
What
turn.
about we need to ask her what did she take away from a wedding?
I remember when we were young, I took out the money from the groom's. I'll be honest.
I think I've done it too as well.
Oh my God.
So, you know, it was one of my cousin's wedding. You know, he's 7 days younger than me. That's it. I don't know what our parents were thinking about, but still. So what happened was that, you know, he actually appointed me to keep all that money which was
my
coming in.
Worst decision ever.
So in between, what I did was, whenever I needed it, man, just take out an envelope, take out the money, that's it, gone. And I threw the envelopes away too as well. So that
So nobody knows. Nobody
So I'm
knows.
sorry, Asad, you know, if I have done that, I'm very sorry.
It's too late now.
Okay, but moving on. You asked, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, moving on. So, never have I ever stolen Eid from a family member.
Oh, she has.
I'm pretty sure everyone
Alright.
has. From your siblings?
No,
How,
no,
how
never.
much did you steal?
I don't remember. It's
When, who was
huge
it?
number.
Yeah,
Huge number.
What about you? How much did
Well,
you?
it was saying never, so I said yeah, never. I've never done that.
You've never.
Okay,
no.
then you have
so
to
if you've
do
never
cross.
done that, you know,
Oh,
it's a red thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna come up with a different one over here. So never have I ever backbited about somebody else looking better than you. No.
I think everyone has.
Everyone does that.
I'm pretty sure
That's the
everyone-
gossip. We call
No,
it
he does
gossip.
not. I do not. No,
You
It's a girl's thing, basically. It's a
Shazad,
girl's
I know
thing.
you.
no, I might not have done it yet. Come on, I don't do that.
You speak. What were you saying?
All right, go ahead. Your
Okay,
question.
well, I have to think though. If you have.
Yeah, I've
Please
got
go
so
ahead.
many more.
Okay.
Okay, never have I ever sworn my family members.
Oh, I think.
Go ahead.
I have.
My siblings I have.
She's so confident about it too as well. You have to.
Like I have.
Bada kamina hai yaar. Something like that.
Well, moms do especially, you know, to children. There's a point. They reach that point. The patience is gone. The frustration kicks in,
Yeah.
and then you sometimes you swear words, which is not good.
Often.
You should- Often. Okay.
All right, moving on. Your question. Go ahead.
Okay, my question. Never have I ever. I don't know. Let me think. Served expired food to the guests.
Oh.
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Being a nutritionist, I can't.
Are you?
I just forget to invite.
You know, but
Direct to
you know what? We might have done it unintentionally, but you know, for all
Unintentionally,
those
yes.
people who get those 1.5-liter soda bottles, and you know, you didn't have enough guests to finish it. So the next guest who's coming over, man, he's having that flat drink. That's what it is. Yeah.
That too. But actually, I went to someone's place where I had to, you know, it was unintentional. I have to give them the benefit of doubt. They
Yeah.
didn't know it was expired. But obviously, you could tell by tasting it. I asked them, I'm sorry, but is this expired? And they're like, oh, let me check the box. And it was actually
no.
expired. Yeah. So you have to be careful what you
Yeah,
serve to the
you
guests.
certainly have to be. Okay, moving on to the next one. So, never have I ever tasted dog or cat food.
Oh no.
Who wrote this? Oh,
Not at all.
I was like, well, that's different. Okay. So I think Hadid, this one's only for you. Have you ever slept on Eid Namaz?
No, never.
Never. So
But it
you've
should
always
be for
been
us
there for
also.
Eid Namaz?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I've
great.
always slept like I'm
Well,
like
you
I mean,
sleep,
women do
but
not go
still
for Eid Namaz,
compulsory,
no?
right?
Yeah.
But you have to
Okay,
get up for the kids
but
and
okay.
sending them
That's
to
true,
masjid
though.
and all.
I think that's what it is. We'll call it
game?
that's what it is. Yeah, that was a game, and all of you played terribly.
Yeah, it was not fun at all, you guys.
So thank
You're
you
not
very much
even
for that. Yeah, but it was
But
great.
we were being honest, na? You
Yeah,
asked us.
yeah, that's
both.
true.
Exactly, that's how it is. But very quickly now, I think what we need to do is that we're only left with like almost 25 minutes for the show too as well. So Dr. Saiba, we really need to get the information out. You know,
Okay, yeah.
please go ahead, talk to other people who are out there, how to look after themselves. And God forbid if there's an emergency, because people do say that, you know, they feel burning over
Burning,
here,
acidity.
and all of those different things. Tell us about that.
Have to be really careful regarding take of food. As I mentioned it earlier, try to have food in smaller portions.
Just like that, this one?
yeah,
This is
the-
very
the-
small. I need to
Perfect
show, I need
size.
to show my people, where are they? Yeah, okay, this is a small portion, okay?
Don't
So one
exceed
bite,
your
right?
capacity, increase your water intake because you'll be having a lot of meat, so we have to have, and try to have some fiber also in the diet because you might end up having loose tummy or constipation. You know, these are the symptoms which lead to other complications. And have greens also. I don't know why don't we add salads or
Oh, we do.
I
We have
love
like
them.
vegetable? No,
9
not on
to
the
10
Eid
types
day.
of salads.
I doubt people, but all they want is a table full of different kind of meats and
Meat, yeah.
different varieties and all.
No, but Dr. Nosheen, this is you telling us about how to avoid these things. But God forbid, if this happens to someone, they get food poisoning or something. So what are the immediate remedies one should take?
If it's out of control, then definitely hospital. Otherwise, take care of the fact that the patient should not get dehydrated.
Okay.
Water intake should be there. Completely switch off to the soft diet. Add bananas. Add rice, soft rice to your diet. Have yogurt. Have alkaline food. Alkaline foods are like the ones which kills the acidity.
Okay, yeah,
like
basic
the
foods, yeah.
yogurt and all. And these are the main precautionary measures.
Okay.
But other than that, if you think that the thing is not getting controlled, then you need to consult a doctor. You need to have a professional health specialist then.
Exactly, that's what it is. And even other than that, ladies and gentlemen, since Eid Day 1, I don't know how many people are going to go out, you know, meet their cousin and everybody. But other than that, you know, I want our Pakistanis, you know, for wherever you guys are, please make sure that you go to the cinemas to watch these two amazing films which are out. One is Jawani Phir Nahi Aani 2 by Nadeem Beg Sahab. He's an amazing director, and the star cast involves Humayun Saeed, and then we have Fahd Mustafa, and then we have Ahmed Ali Butt, then we have Wasit Chaudhary, then we have Kubra, then we have Mavra, then you know, so the star cast is there, and then other than that, there's Lord Wedding coming out as well, which is Fahd Mustafa.
Is
And
it Parvaz Hai Junoon as well?
Parvaz Hai Junoon, I'm not sure whether it's on Eid or not, but
Well, I
these two
saw a
films
trailer.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I saw a trailer. I saw a poster basically, and one of the celebrities posting that it's coming out on Eid al-Adha. I'm not sure. Please make sure about it. But anyway, you have to go out and support local content because in the end, you are Pakistani, and I personally love Pakistani cinema.
Wow.
It's so entertaining. I'm pretty sure you're not going to waste your money or your time. So make sure you go out. If you do make a plan with your friends, you can. You know, this is one of the options that you can actually.
Which is why I am going to ask Shiza, which was the last Pakistani film she watched.
Oh my God! I have. This is.
Which one?
But you're not going to ask me for the reviews.
Oh, no, I'm not going to ask you for the review, but just tell us
It's
about
Band Baja. Mikal Zulfikar was in the movie.
Okay.
Band Baja Barat or Na Band Na Barati. Yes.
it.
Oh God. Yes.
So you haven't watched
mixing
Thief in
names.
Trouble?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, we
It
need
was
to
fun.
watch Thief in Trouble because it has
It
actually
was
broken
fun.
all the records too
I've
as well.
heard- I've
And
heard.
it's
It
a
is an
great
amazing
film.
movie.
It's a good movie.
Amazing
Very good
movie.
movie.
It's a great film, and you know, it's not because you know I happen to know Ahsan Rahim Saab or the entire team which was working on the film, but the film is great, and I think that this
I
is
love
something
the
which
way
have
they
to-
showed Lahore, what you call it, the cinematography.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The
Zanbai
concept
did a
was
great job.
amazing. Even there were a lot of fighting scenes, but the way they have managed it, especially the one that happens in train,
Yeah.
you know, like he imagines and then the fight scene is gone. I just love
Amazing.
that part.
And
that's
Maya
very
did a
good.
great
This,
job too.
Footfall of cinema is getting better.
Yeah.
And we are producing good movies.
That's
This
Exactly.
is very good.
So, what are your plans for the next 2 days of Eid?
We'll watch movie,
Okay.
definitely, with my
Thank you.
family and a few friends. And we'll go out, but don't eat out, because last Eid I had a terrible experience.
Okay. What
And
happened?
I went to
Share it with
the
us.
restaurant and I just ordered a steak, and next 2 days I was in hospital.
Oh God.
With a lots of
Was it like
IVs and
undercooked or
drips.
something?
They were serving expired meat or
Oh.
something like that, because I couldn't
fresh, okay.
digest that meat. So please avoid
That's sad.
outside meat and
Yeah.
prefer
I mean,
Yeah.
go
make
out,
at
have
home.
fun,
Prefer
but
eating at home.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay, but you know, Shumaila, what we've done is that we've asked them about their childhood memories. Do you have a childhood memory related to bakras and goats and going
I
to
forget
Mandi
my
probably?
childhood.
well, he
I
just
feel
throws
like I'm
questions
born
at
like
She's
a
still a
mother.
child. She's still a child. Go
No,
ahead.
I feel like I'm born like a mother.
No, but you know, there might be a memory of Eid which you want to share with people.
Not much, but just
Well, maybe you can share yours.
Yeah,
and then she gets
I
mine.
think I think
You
I
can
can
share
do that.
your memory
Yeah,
first.
so I've shared
maybe
one
I
of,
can recall my
yeah, yeah.
few
yeah, sure,
memories.
sure. So I've shared one of my memories from last year, but I'm going to go down the memory lane further more down. And it was so. This is basically that I miss my grandparents because they used to be around, and it used to be so much fun that you know. They were the binding force, you know,
Yeah,
they
true.
used to actually reunite us.
Totally
and
agree.
They used to make us sit beside them, and then they used to make jokes, and then the best part was they used to give us pocket money. Oh, the other used to give me a lot of pocket money.
Really?
Yeah, because I was the first son of the family. Not
Oh,
that he was
okay.
being very biased or, you know, or something other than that, but it was just sheer love. That's what it was. That's what I miss. And I think that, you know, for people who really do not have parents, I think that their eldest sibling has the responsibility to unite the entire family,
Yeah.
get them going. Even if you are married and your wife's not willing to cook for your siblings, you can do that too as well. You know, it's not your wife's responsibility.
That's
I think that was a great message. So I miss you. Oh, I don't want to cry, but it's perfectly all right. Yeah.
Oh,
So go ahead.
you're getting emotional.
Yeah, I did a bit because I kind of love them a lot. So go ahead. Now, do you have a memory?
Not yet.
Not exactly.
Okay.
It's not-
Hadith, what about you? You didn't share one.
I have a lot of memories.
Okay,
go
your
ahead.
favorite one, a crazy memory.
Oh, I just had a great memory in America. I met my best friend. Like, she's a very cool musician, and like she's
Where's
very-
Bakra Eid in it?
Oh yeah, I don't. I thought we were.
What's crazy? What's crazy about it? Was it on Eid?
Oh, it was very moving, I think, because I was actually
Seeing her after a very long time. Probably.
yeah.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
But I
it's
have
such
to
a
ask you,
Yeah.
I have to ask you, you know, for people who spend Eids outside Pakistan,
Yeah.
anyone can answer. I feel like it's very dull and boring, first of all, because whenever I've done it, you're not sacrificing the animals there, right? You're probably asking your relatives to do it in Pakistan for you. So there's nothing to do. I mean, there's small Pakistani gatherings where you just have to sit, eat chocolates, and probably wear mehndi on your hand. That is it. That is literally it. It's boring out there.
So what else do you want to do? I mean,
No, I had a good
Pakistan is like
experience.
so happening.
I really had a good experience because I was in Kuwait and I
Okay.
lived there more than 10 years.
Arab countries are fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, Arab countries are fun. They are having henna and they are having the Eid Milan parties
Yeah, yeah.
and the whole community, even the Arabi people and the Indian community, Pakistani, we all gathered together. And we had a Chandrat and then next day dinners and lunches, and we are so occupied.
Right.
And here I feel little not that crazy moments which I had in Kuwait.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you had
Even
a
in
better
America.
time there celebrating your Eid. Okay.
Of course, I'm celebrating here, but it's not that fun which I had in Kuwait.
wow, that's
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? Have you ever been in another country on Eid or any such occasions?
No, not
Or do
really.
you feel like Pakistan is actually the best place to
It
celebrate?
is
your Eid?
definitely your hometown, your country is the best place because you have all family with you. But I'm sure that people who are abroad, they definitely miss their parents, they miss their
sure,
family.
yes, I'm sure.
And the way we celebrate it here, it's not abroad. But I've seen that now small communities have been, you know, like are there, and you know, these girls and these women, they go to these communities. I think that is the only platform there where they can enjoy
Okay.
on these Eids. So we see these get-togethers happening even abroad, because wherever Pakistanis are living, they have this small circle and they
Exactly.
celebrate and they cherish these moments.
Exactly,
Because
that's-
they miss their family and they cannot have those moments here, so they try to cherish it there.
True, but something that I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure girls are going to relate to it more than guys are. I'm not sure about you guys.
Let's see.
Because you're very boring. Anyway, so when you talk about Choti Eid, Eid al-Fitr, the most exciting part for me and for my sisters, I
Eidi?
speak on behalf of them, no, it's not
Oh.
Eid, it's Chandrat.
It's Chandrat.
Yeah,
Chandrat.
it's
Chandrat.
so it's more exciting than
Yeah.
than Eid itself, because you're doing all the preparations of Chandrat. You're going out to shop if there's anything missing and everything.
खर्चे के अलावा तो खवातीन ने कोई बात करनी नहीं है पाकिस्तान
No, but there's a lot of stuff.
Last
Also, you're
moment
preparing.
shopping. It's always good.
Yeah.
And it's a thing. It exists.
It
and
is
you're
a
always
part
missing
of
out.
your
on
culture.
something.
Excitement in the Chandrat is like especially for the girls and the young girls. Like my daughter, she's always looking forward.
Yeah.
I always ask her get something beforehand. I was like, I'm going to get my bangles
On
on
Chandrat.
Chandrat.
Exactly.
Being a mother, I know it's such a big hassle going, but still, they look forward to having henna on their hands, and even us, we look forward to having henna on our
Yeah,
hands.
of course, of
And the concept of wearing
bangles.
But I don't know
and
what
the
happened to
Chandrat.
these women, ladies and gentlemen, on this age, because none of them is actually wearing henna. So, it's different. But,
Because
for
we
me,
have to do
We have to
the
work,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Kitchen.
yeah, that.
We have
But
to
for
work.
me, Chandrat is always very full of stress. So I've told you that what happened last night, I actually had to keep an eye on the goals. But for the previous Eid, it is like because you're out with your friends, you're roaming around on streets, and you're only worried about getting up for the Eid namaz as well.
That's
And then at 6, you've got your mother banging on the door, Puttar uth ja, and then you're like, main pehle padha tha. And then she's like, you're like, but this is how it is. I think these are the crazy moments which we live up to, which we think about too as well. And people need to be open about all of these things. And I think this is a message which I would love to give away too as well for those people out there. Before we move on towards another song, that this might be the perfect moment, that this might be the most suitable moment in your life to actually call somebody and apologize
Make up with
if
them.
you think
Yes.
that you're wrong. Even if you're not wrong, I think that you're the most brave human being around, because you decided to value that relationship which you had with that amazing person and try to continuing or probably getting it back on track. So this is what we need to do. Even if it was one of your person whom you used to love, or she or he or whoever is not around, just call them up. Tell them that you still love them.
It can be your family members as well, because I know some people.
We are talking about family members. Who else are we talking about?
I'm talking about sisters, immediate sisters and brothers, because I know
Family
people-
members?
You guys. Anyway, do what Shazad said. And are we moving on to a song?
Yeah, we're moving on. So which one are we listening to?
Yeah, all right. Before we move on to the song, I would also like to say that
Sure.
I had like a memory of like Choti Eid in America,
Okay.
and on the Chandrat, my sister I went with my sister and my niece. They went to the mosque, to the local mosque,
Okay.
and my niece was getting the mehndi over there. So
In the
it
mosque,
was
okay.
like a unique experience over there too.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to the song, this song is actually called "King of Self" by Sajida and Zishan, and I would really like to give this as a tribute to Imran Khan. And since I've sung two of Amir Zaki's song, I would also like to mention that if Amir Zaki was alive today, he would be really happy for Prime Minister Imran Khan becoming
Exactly.
our
We
Prime
all
Minister.
are.
And he also invented a guitar. He actually made a guitar, and
A double fret guitar, I guess.
no, it's actually called a bat guitar. He made a guitar out of bat.
Okay.
And there's a lot of middle space over
yeah,
there,
yeah.
which you can also play the cricket
Wow.
with it, and also
Wow.
also you can play the guitar with it.
Okay.
So
So
this song is
what we are going to do is that we're going to stop you over here because we got a little surprise, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go for a short break, and when you guys are going to come back, we're going to have a cake cutting ceremony, and then we'll end this show with your
With
song
your
too
song,
as well.
yes.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's not going to be the end of the transmission. The
Yeah.
transmission is going
We'll
to
go
go
on.
along for the next 2 days too as well. So Eid Mubarak to everybody, and for all those people
Stay
who are
safe.
out there, stay tuned. Okay, we're coming back.
Yeah.
Eid Mubarak.
first year.
Welcome back to World This Morning, you guys. You are watching the live transmission of Eid Day 1 on PTV World, and this is going to go on even after our show ends, because all of the hosts of PTV World are looking so beautiful, by the way. All of them have their own, transmissions ready to be shared with you, and this is Eid Sar that we are sharing with you guys, and this is the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. We have in front of us a very yummy looking cake, a chocolate cake that one of our guests brought.
Yeah, Shumaila brought it in.
Yes.
Shumaila even brought in the kheer. And once again, where credit is due, it's due. So Dr. Saiba came up with the idea of bringing in the samosas, and then Samara came up with the idea of bringing in the juice, and we're loving it over here. I don't know who brought the balloons, but whoever did it, we had a great time. But I know
He had the guitar, I came empty-handed.
it's
brought
all right
yourself,
because
which is
you're going to
great.
give us Eid, okay? But that's going to be after the show.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to cut the cake, and Eid Mubarak to everybody out there. So can we say it out loud when we're going to say Happy Eid Mubarak?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
Eid
Eid
Mubarak! Let's do it now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, all of you, you need to join hands, please.
come forward.
Come on, you can hold my arm.
Okay.
Come on, get in the boat. Get in the boat. 1, 2, 3. Eid Mubarak! And I think you'll actually have to do all the cutting and serve the
okay.
guests. And Hadid, come on, take us away.
Yeah.
You'll have to cut it.
Okay. There's just one issue.
Go ahead very quickly meanwhile Hadid, ladies and gentlemen, actually putting his mic
So I'm going to cut it enough
on.
for all
Yes,
the team
go
as
ahead.
well.
I'm just gonna put it over here.
Let's cut it for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like cherries.
These are not cherries, jellies.
No, but they look like, right?
Music that you hear in your ears makes you wonder of all the things you wanna leave behind, all the things you rush into. You're not a rock star, but you can't see yourself out there under the bright light. You feel you're the reason. Throw away that bag of gold. Listen to what the music holds. Melody only you can feel. You're about to be the king of sound. Oh, sound. Woo! Fast car, but you're not a rock star. But you get away just to be the way you are. Find a reason, but you want so bad. 'Cause what you want is what you want. Now you're on the spot. Throw away that bag of gold. Listen to what the music holds. It's melody only you can feel. You're about to be the king of sound. Oh, sound.
Wow, that was great. And finally, Hadid can actually have his piece of cake too as well. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to PTV World. We were celebrating Eid with you. We're going to celebrate it for the next 2 days. 1, 2, 3. Happy Eid Mubarak! Thank you.